Goes on. It is on. Okay, my name is Mahendra Shah, and I belong to Jain religion or Jain faith. First of all, I would like to ask you, has anybody has heard about the Jain religion and does have any knowledge about the Jain religion? You can unmute yourself and mention it whether you know about it or not. That will give me an indication as to what level I need to cover. Yes, Madhav?
Yes, I was just going to say, I do have some idea of the Jain religion,
Okay.
but it's always good to hear a little more. And
100%. 100%. Okay. And
Yeah, I have very little knowledge of it, except for some very strange ideas about your diet.
okay.
Other than that, I'm sorry, I don't know anything.
No, that's all right. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. So it will be good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, yes, yes. And I would imagine, Christina, you also probably is beginner kind of things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start. First of all, I would say Jai Jinendra. Jai Jinendra is a kind of greetings that we say normally to each and every person that we will meet. Normally, you will see that everybody saying Jai Jinendra in our gathering, congregation, and things like that. What does that mean? It means that you and I are both equal from the standpoint of having a soul. And the soul has the same capacity, your and mine soul both has the same capacity to achieve nirvana. Ultimate aim of Jain religion is to free the soul from all the karmic bondage and achieve nirvana. When you achieve nirvana, you reside in a moksha, and that will be everlasting happiness. And that is what we say to each and everyone by saying Jai Jinendra. Now, there is a one little stanza that comes into my mind that I want to just sing it that, and then I'll briefly explain that. And then we'll go into a little bit of presentation and all. This two-line stanza is, Sahajanandi Suddha Swarupi Avinasi Hu Atma Swarupi Deha Mare Che Unathi Marato Ajara Amara Padmaru. This is in Gujarati, and that is what my mother tongue is. What basically that's stanza or stavan says is that soul has got infinite attributes, qualities. Some of them are that it has everlasting happiness. It does not have any kind of shape or form. It is pure by its own inherent nature. Because of the karmic particle, it becomes dirty, but otherwise the soul itself is pure. And it says, second stanza says that the body dies, but soul never dies. So soul is everlasting. Okay, now, since we have got only 20 minutes, what I want to do is give you a general overview and introduction into Jainism. And then whatever the question that you have during the presentation, please mark it down and save it. We'll have last 5 minutes or so for the question and answer. Okay? I'm going to share my slides. Just give me 1 minute. You should be able to see the slide. You see the slides, right? Yes. Okay. So, as I said, my name is Mahendra Shah, and basically, we're just going to give you a little bit of an overview of the Jainism. And the topics that I'm going to cover are written down here. Basically, some of the history, what is the nirvana means, what are the four gatis in Jainism, what are the five vows, and what are the four kasais. And then briefly, I'll share, we have a temple here, Jain temple in Phoenix, near the Southern Avenue and Southern and 23rd Avenue. And that is what I'm basically gonna, portray it and show it to you. And overall message that I would like to leave with you in the presentation is that living is killing, but the best living is the least killing. So basically, when we are living, we do some kind of things where we will hurt someone, but the best living is to hurt as little as possible or as less as possible. Each one of the topics, or some of them, will be described in much more detail. Okay. What is Jain? Who is Jain? Jain is not that if you are born in a Jain family, then you are Jain. Jain is a philosophy, or Jain is a way of life, where if you follow certain things that are being said by our Tirthankaras, or the ones who have achieved nirvana, then you are also a Jain. It's a path that will lead you to achieve a moksha. So Jain term is derived from Jina. And Jina means it's a conqueror. Conqueror of what? It's conqueror of enemy. But what kind of enemies? Enemies which are inner enemies. The enemies which really does not have your soul become pure. And it has a karmic particle attached to that. So inner enemies are like desire, anger, pride, greed, and deceit. Those are also called kasais. And those are the four things that make us do certain things which are not right. And that's the reason why we will get the karmas attached to that. These jinas have attained a supreme knowledge. What does that mean? That means they know each and everything that is going on at every moment. They have a complete knowledge of it, but they don't get attached to that. They are just the knower of the things. They are not doer of anything else. Now, the soul is liberated when the Jina soul is completely liberated from the cycle of birth and death. And how do you get liberated from cycle of birth and death? Is by having no karmas attached to the soul. Now, there are two things that I've been making distinction here. And the first stavan that I sang, it did say that the body dies, but the soul doesn't die. So there are two distinct things that we are Jain believe in, that the soul and the body both are two distinct things, two distinct objects. Body is non-living and the soul is a living. Living means it has a knowledge, whereas the body does not have a knowledge. Now, the person can argue by saying that, hey, I got a mind, I got knowledge, but what happens when the soul departs the body? Mind is still there, but the mind would not be working. So there is a something behind the mind, behind our all indriyas, that is working, and you're getting a knowledge, and that one is a soul. So when soul leaves, even though you got all the things, the body is there, all the indriyas are there, and still you won't be having any kind of knowledge. Okay, so that's the reason why there's a distinction between the soul and a body. Now, jinas are of two types. What is that? One is called Kevli or Samanya, or other one is called Tirthankaras. The Kevlis ones are the ones that would not give discourses and things like that. They just do their own salvations and their own nirvana. Whereas Tirthankaras is a kind of a name associated with the soul who is getting a pure knowledge. And that Tirthankaras are the ones who will preach, who will give the sermons, and the acharyas and upadhyayas and all the teachers and all will understand what Tirthankaras are saying, and they will write the scriptures. So the Tirthankaras are the ones that are very, very helpful to mundane soul, people like us, which are called Shravak and Shravika, and I'll go into that a little bit later. So totally there are 24 Tirthankaras in the last time cycle, and I'll briefly describe also the time cycle a little bit later. So in this time cycle, the 24th Tirthankara is called Mahavir Swami or Mahavir Bhagwan or Mahavir uh, Guru or Tirthankar, Mahavir Tirthankar. He lived in India from 599 to 527 BCs, before the Christ. Okay, so he's the one who taught all the acharyas, upadhyayas, and munis the teaching from the Tirthankaras, who has the complete knowledge of the religion. Okay, so that's how all the granth or scriptures are written down there. Little bit of history behind this Jainism is there are approximately about 5 to 6 million followers worldwide. Jains living in USA are approximately about 200,000. They are spread all across, and there are so many different major cities that have Jain temples and Jain congregation. So you will see, like if you go to Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Miami, all those places do have Jain temples so that the people of the Jain belief can go and pray there. Same as Phoenix also has a temple, and I'll show you the picture a little bit later. The Jainism actually originated in India during the Buddha and Jain, both religion pretty much progressed at a similar time. Jain pretty much remained the learned people, monks, acharyas, and upadhyayas pretty much remain in India because they are forbidden from traveling from one place to another place. They can go one place to another place, but they cannot travel by airplanes. They cannot travel by, I'm talking about the monks, acharyas, and upadhyayas. So that's why they remain pretty much in India. But the people like me and other Jains who have migrated here started following the Jain religion, started building a temple, and our next generation also can go and learn about the Jainism. So we do have Pathsala, we call it. It's a Jain school every Sunday school. Now there are 4 groups, major group in Jainism: monks and nuns. The monks are the male Muni, and the nuns are the female Muni. Then we got male and female householders. It's a people like me are called male householder. My wife will be a female householder. We have little bit of leniency in the religion, in strictly in following the vows. Okay, so monks and the nuns strictly follow the vows, whereas male and female householders will partially fulfill the vows. We don't believe in any kind of a caste system. So there is no like somebody is higher, somebody is lower, nothing like that. It's all same. As I said initially, that Jai Jinendra means that basically we believe in soul, and the soul is the one which is kind of same for each and every one of us. Okay, so there are 2 main sects in Jainism. The one is called Swetambar and the other one is called Digambar. The Swetambar is the ones that wear the white garments, and that's why you may have seen some of the monks will be using the white garments. And Digambars are the ones that don't use any clothes. So you may have seen some of the munis and things like that in the picture, which not wearing any kind of clothes at all. It's called sky is their ambar, or sky is their cloth. The Mahavir teachings were carried out and written down into 12 scriptures. And I mentioned to you that all the scriptures have been written by acharyas, upadhyayas, and all those things. The main presently main scripture is the Tattva Sutra. But all the scriptures are broken down into different categories. And there are 4 different categories, but that we will not go into that. But the important things that, like somebody would say that, okay, Bible is my main scripture. Same way Jains would say Tattva Sutra is considered to be our main Bible kind of thing, equivalent of Bible. We do not believe in a creator God or a destroyer. We basically believe that God is there just having pure state of no karmas attached to that pure soul. So God is a knower, but not the doer. God does not give you. So somebody would ask me, why do you go to the temple then? Why do you pray God? The reason why we pray God is that we will go to the temple, look in front of the statue of God, and we will say, God, I want to become like you by my own doing. You are not going to come and say that, okay, tathastu or something, okay, I gave you this and you will be a now God or learned person. No. Or God would not, we would not go to the statue of God and say that, God, I wish I would, win a lottery, or I get an A in all my grades. Things like that, we will not do that. We are going to God for praying and saying that, God, I want to become like you by my own efforts and following the path that you have shown me, or your scriptures have shown me what I need to do to progress towards nirvana. So that is the main important points where we go to the temple for doing that. We believe that all souls are capable of achieving Godhood or nirvana and having reside in a moksha. Human beings are capable of becoming jinas by following the path of liberation through our own efforts. Now, as I mentioned to you about the time cycle, the last time cycle, we have 24th Tirthankara is a Mahavir Bhagwan. So there is if you consider one full circle, the first half is called half circle, and that half circle is called descending order, Ausarpini. We are and then that half circle is divided into 5 unequal parts. We are in the 5th era of the descending cycle. And then comes the ascending cycle that is also again divided into 6 eras, and that will go later on. But right now we have 21,000 years, out of which 2,500 or 2,560 years have passed by. So remaining amount of still there in the 5th era. All you need to know is this is, as per Jain time cycle, we are in the 5th era of the descending cycle. Each half cycle. Hold on.
Okay.
Why we are getting into a different room?
Okay. We've run out of time. We went past the 1 minute, so I think he's probably switching the presenters to different. So we're good. You're in the right spot, Mahendra.
Oh, I was not able to complete. Okay.
Great. Well, according to what she was saying, then what happens to Scientologists who don't follow Jesus, right?
You have to tune in tomorrow when I'm doing my presentation, because we don't want to take up Mahendra's, and I'll be able to answer that.
Okay, fair enough, Les. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Les, I'm not in my class now. Huh? Oh my God.
We have 2 Mahendras.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I'm using 2 devices, so. I'm using 2 devices, so I can see everyone. So
Double the knowledge.
boy, less 20 minutes goes by so fast. And I think
It does, doesn't it?
we did not start probably on time. So
Yeah, if you're ready, I think you should start and
Yeah,
start recording.
we're all ears. We're all ears here.
oh, I'm sorry. So I'm in the second session.
Yes. Yes, you
Oh,
are.
I'm sorry. So, okay, all of you are here. Let me share. Do I have to do leave room or no?
You can
No,
do a
nothing.
share.
I just do a share
Yep.
and I'm gonna do share here. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Jainism. Well, basic introduction. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of an overview of that. When we Jains, my name is Mahendra Shah and I belong to Jain religion. I don't know whether I have to put again the record button or not.
Yeah. Well, I don't know unless you paused it.
No, I did not pause it. Okay,
Okay, then
it should be okay, huh?
it should show that's recording, or you can start a recording.
It says recording.
It says recording. Okay, great. I'm sorry for all this mess up a little bit. When we meet each other, like we greet each other by saying Jai Jinendra. Jai Jinendra basically means that your soul, my soul are equivalent. We are at the same level. So there is nothing like you are superior than me or I'm superior than you. We are all equal from the standpoint of all qualities of the soul. And soul qualities are what? It is pure, everlasting, and it is full of all joy, nothing but the joy, all everlasting happiness. Let me go over through a little bit of Jainism and some of the topics that I'm gonna cover. What happened to my share? Okay, some of the topics that I'm gonna cover is little history. Then I'm gonna talk about some gatis. Then I'm gonna talk about vows, and I'll talk briefly about the karma theory, and then I'll show you the picture of Jain temple here in Phoenix. We do have one temple which is at 23rd Avenue and Southern. Now, as I briefly mentioned, Jina means the conqueror. Jain came from word Jina. Conqueror means what? Conqueror of inner enemies. Inner enemies are what? 4 kasai that I mentioned. I did mention on a slide before. Those 4 kasais are desire, anger, pride, and greed and deceit. Actually, there are 5 in there, but it's an anger, pride, greed, and deceit. Desire is again part of that, but basically likes and dislikes. When the soul gets rid of all the karmic particles which are attached due to our likes and dislikes and attachment, once you remove all these karmic particle, soul becomes pure. And that pure state of soul is called God in Jainism. There are 2 major sects in Jain. First of all, let me say there are 2 kinds of jinas. One is called Kevali, and the other one is called Tirthankaras. Kevalis are the ones that they do their own salvation. Tirthankaras are the ones that show the path to us, to the people like mundane people like us, Shravak and Shravikas. And they show the path to the liberation. And when they do the sermons, the people like Upadhyay and Acharyas and all the gurus will understand what the God is saying, and then they will write the scriptures. And there are totally so many scriptures are there, but main important scripture is called Tattva Sutra, and that is the main sutra. Just like Christians would say that we have Bible, Muslim would say that we have Quran. Same way Jains would say Tattva Sutra is our main Bible kind of things, equivalent to Bible. There are approximately 6 million people in the worldwide Jains. Jains in USA are approximately 200,000. Major cities, you will see the Jains, and you will see also the temple in Jain. As I mentioned, there are 4 groups: the monks and nuns, male and female. Monks and nuns are male and female munis, and the male and females are the householder like us. We do not believe, Jains do not believe in any caste system. So there is no, kind of a caste at all. And we are not really an offshoot of Hinduism or Buddhism or any other religion. Jainism existed, and it's a path that one can follow through. It is a way of life. There are 2 main sects in Jainism, Shwetambar and Digambar. Shwetambars are the ones that the munis or monks would wear white cloth, and Digambar is the munis will not wear any cloth. So you may have seen some munis, which monk is muni, equivalent to muni, will not have any clothes on them. They are completely naked and clothless, and that is called Digambars. Jain do not believe in creator God, or there is a destroyer God, or any other, helper God or anything like that. Jain God does not do any help. Then one could ask me that why do we go to the temple? We go to the temple not for asking anything from God, but we go to the temple to pray God and say that, God, the way you have achieved the Godhood, pure state of soul, I want to achieve the same thing for everlasting happiness by following the path that you have shown. It's in the scriptures and all, and you have laid out path that I have to follow through, and I want to become like you. So that's the reason why we go to the idol and worship. Again, each one of the human beings who have soul is capable of becoming a Jaina. Okay. Then briefly, there are big time cycles. There is a 2 equal half. Right now, we are in an Ausarpini card, which is a descending card, and we are in the 5th era. It is just for the knowledge. Somebody would, if you talk to Jain, they will say we are in the 5th era. And 5th era is the one which will have sort of lot of misery and things like that. So time cycle is a much more broad, kind of a whole topic itself. Now, the key beliefs of Jain is a non-violence, and non-violence is really a big principal aspect of Jainism. Now, let me go into the non-violence or Ahinsa. The key belief of all religions, Ahinsa is, hello?
Whoever's phone is ringing, could they mute? Because it's really distracting.
Okay, so Ahinsa means non-violence, and non-violence means that all living beings have a right to live. You cannot hurt them. And how many different ways can you do that? So there are 9 ways, and this is really important to know. There are 3 ways that you can do it, is by mentally doing it, verbally doing it, and physically doing it. And 3 other ways that you can do it is you do it yourself, have someone else do it for you, and the 3rd one is encourage someone else to do it. So that's 3 and 3 becomes 9 ways. So for example, mentally, if I think something bad about less, I am doing Hinsa. I am doing non-violence. Even though Les doesn't know that I'm thinking bad about him. But since I'm thinking bad about him, I am doing Hinsa. There is nothing, I get the karmas, Les doesn't get anything because he doesn't even know that I'm thinking bad about him. Same thing, verbally speaking, Les would know it, but still I am the one who is doing it, I will get it. Same thing, physically doing it. And physically, everybody knows that if I punch somebody, I'm doing bad things and I'm doing Ahinsa or violence. Everybody knows that, right? Now, three different ways, as I said to you, you do it or tell somebody to do it. So if I tell Les that, hey, talk something about Caroline, and Caroline is so bad, and Les will tell Caroline because Les doesn't want to say it. But since I cannot do it, because the Caroline would be a very strong lady and she will kick me, and then Les is very strong. So I'll tell Les, hey, I cannot do it. You go ahead and do it for me. That is also, I get Hinsa. Just understand the concept. I get the Hinsa. Even though Les is doing it, I told Les to do it. I get the Hinsa. I get the violence. I get the karmas. Third thing would be, I will encourage Les in such a way that I'll brainwash, kind of thing. I'll keep on saying that, oh, Carolyn is so bad, so bad, so bad. And every time she does this, we have to just tell her not to do that, and we have to slap her and this and that. And finally, Les would think that, oh boy, Mahendra is right. So over a period of time, Les would do it. Okay. And I may not know that Les has done it, but I get the Hinsa. I get the violence. I get the karma. So in Jainism, violence really goes into very deep. Even if you do it with mind, that is the one which is the key principle of Jainism. So we would normally not think bad about it. Or even if you think bad about it, we will just say that, hey, I'm doing wrong thing, and I would repent myself not to do that. And that kind of things that much of deeper Hinsa means. Now, everybody knows the karma theory. Karma theory is like what you sow is what you're gonna reap, right? Kind of things. So if you do bad thing, and that is karma theory is basically like, yes. Yeah, Les?
No,
You had a question?
I was just taking a picture so I could refer to it later. A picture of your, I'm very interested.
Okay, so karma theory is basically, like what you do is what you're gonna get the results of, not somebody else. You are the ones who are doing it, so you are the one who will bear the fruits of those things. If it is a good thing, then you're gonna bear a good fruit. If you are your actions are, then you're gonna get the bad karmas attached to that. So good and bad karmas get attached to that, and that brings you into, like, anger is a bad thing, right? If I get angry on somebody, I'm not having really sense of, my mind is not really thinking. I'm just coming out of anger and doing something. I may even kick someone, right, in anger. So all those things are because I'm not in a peaceful mind and I'm angry. So I get a bad karmas attached to me. That bad karma is going to come in fruition in a later life. And that later life describes the four gati. So you could be born in heaven, human, hell, or animal. So those are the four gatis that you could be born in, depending upon the karmas that you have done. If you have done a good karmas, you'll go to the heaven, or you can become a human being. But if you have done a bad karma, you can go to hell, or you can become an animal. So those are the four gatis determined depending upon the karmas you have accumulated in your past life. Does that make sense? That is what we call it as a gati. And those are the four gatis that the human life will circulate. Now, your aim, every Jain's aim is to get out of this cycle of birth and death, whether you are in heaven or you're in hell, or you're a subhuman or animal or things like that. You want to get out of this cycle. And the only way you can get out of this cycle is to have no karmas attached to you. Not good karmas, not bad karmas. So when you have a total account of karmas being zero, that means your soul is pure, has no any kind of aura, or we call it, shade or cover on it, and you're pure, shining. That is the big karma theories that I just described it in a brief. That is what you see in the slides. Now, how does the soul attain the karmas? I did mention that. How do you do that? Get rid of the karmas. And how do you get rid of the karmas? By having a pure thoughts, pure speech, pure actions, and only thinking that you are the knower of the things, but you are not the doer of anything. Whenever you try to attach to something, then you will come across with likes and dislikes, and then you're going to say, I don't like it, so you're going to go into doing something bad, something good, kind of things like that. So when you don't have any attachment, and when you know that you are just the knower of the things. So say, for example, if the accident occurred, we right into going to, oh, it's your fault, you did not stop at the red sign, this and that. Rather than that, let the cop do their work. You are the knower of the things that if accident happened, somebody is going to do that work. Just keep quiet, keep calm, let the people do the work. And if it comes out to be against you, fine, accept it. And glad acceptance is one another thing that, oh, it happened, I have to be careful next time, and it is done with. So that is where your calmness, coolness, and kind of not getting attached and becoming rowdy or angry or things like that. So pure thoughts, pure speech, and pure actions will determine, and again, as I said, that don't get attached to a thing. It will determine that your karmas will come into fruition, will disappear, and no new karmas will come. Okay, so that's how you become the nirvana, attain the liberation. Let's skip this multiplicity of viewpoint. There are 5 vows in Jainism, and non-violence is the main vow, then telling the truth, non-stealing, chastity, and non-possessiveness. Again, possessiveness is a very important thing. Even though we go into wants and needs, everything that you possess, you have now attachment to that. So lesser the attachment, the better it is in Jainism. The 4 passions that I talked about is anger, pride, deceit, and greed. And every one of us knows that each one of them is not really good for us. Householder duties are that we normally worship the Tirthankaras, and that's the reason why the temple is there. And those are the 6 things that we normally practice. And these are all householders, so people like me and my wife and all, our duties are. This is the Jain temple. Those of you who have come there may have seen that. And we have approximately about 150 to 200 families here in Phoenix. We built this temple in 2008, and now it is fully functional. This is the statue of the god. And as you see me and my wife being in here praying, and that is again in a temple. Now I have a few more pictures, but this is just most of the Jain temples you will see is a lot of different kind of carving and things like that. You will see it in the temple. References are, you can go to jaina.org or Jain e-library.
Could I make an announcement really quick? Could whoever's phone ringing, turn it off or unplug it from the wall?
Yes.
So we can all hear. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now, if anybody has a question, I think we got 5 minutes that we can go through and have a question answer, because otherwise, okay, Caroline. Okay, Caroline, unmute yourself and. We can't hear you, Caroline. Go ahead, Caroline.
Mahindra, could you end the share screen so that we could see you a little better? Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. My question is about the non-violence against all living beings. So that means you can't even kill mosquitoes and cockroaches.
That is correct. That is correct. but as a human being, we normally don't, as a householder, we don't strictly follow that non-violence. And that's why I did not go through one of the motto that I want you to always take it back is living is killing, but the best living is the least killing. That's what the principle or things that we follow through. If you can avoid it, like I haven't done my house, spray those pesticide.
Yeah,
I would not do that. What normally we do that if we see the ant, what we do, that fabric seat that we use it in dryer, the smelly fabric seat. We use that fabric seat and we put it where we see that the ant or somebody is coming there from that hole or wherever. We put that piece of fabric, the fabric seat, and ants would not come in the house. They go away.
I see. Right.
So that's some kind of things like that we use and not kill it. Even if we catch a scorpion,
Yeah.
we would do it in a glass jar or something, then
Okay.
put it outside again,
I see.
not kill it.
Yeah.
We try to follow that, but accidentally when we are driving and all, we are killing it. We can't fully avoid that. If something comes on the road and you cannot control it, you will kill it.
Okay.
Yeah, Les, go ahead.
I have a couple quick questions. What is your definition of Godhood? Because
Godhood-
you mentioned that you
Godhood-
don't believe in a creator God, but that individual souls are capable of achieving Godhood.
Yes, correct. So you and I both have a soul and we are capable of doing that. The Godhood means that it is a karma-less soul, pure soul is a Godhood. And how do you achieve it? Like I mentioned briefly, is the pure thoughts and okay.
Yeah, I just wanted your definition. I got that. And then there was a choice of, because of the karma, ending up in heaven or human life, hell or subhuman life. So you have a part of your belief there that there's a heaven and there's a hell?
Yes, but that's not the ultimate goal. That is not the ultimate goal of Jain.
Okay.
So in somewhere people will say, oh, I'm glad I'm going to heaven. Jains would not be satisfied by going to heaven. Our ultimate goal is to achieve nirvana, which is out of all these four cycles. Cycle of birth and death.
Nirvana, okay.
Nirvana is it's a separate place called moksha. That's where all the liberated souls will reside.
I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who is that? Leslie? Yeah, go ahead, Leslie.
Yeah, I have a question. How does forgiveness come into Jainism? The concept of forgiveness.
That's a very important concept. We have a religious festival called Paryushan, and on the last day, we will ask for the forgiveness. Now, what does that mean is that I am asking for forgiveness of doing any kind of bad deeds with you during the whole year or in the past, okay? And forgiveness goes two ways. We will also ask for your forgiveness towards me. If you have thought anything bad, because I said something and you thought bad about me, please forgive me because I do not mean that. So then it is a complete cycle. I forgive you, but you have to forgive me too. So you're closing the account. So forgiveness basically is that you are making sure, and if you know certain things that I tried to hurt you somewhere, so I'll come to you personally and say, Leslie, you remember that day I got really mad with you and actually it wasn't right. It wasn't right. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I forgive you. I'm not going to do that again. And I want you to forgive me also. Don't keep your bad thoughts about me also. So it's a two-way communication.
It's time to wrap it up. There was a note.
Thank you so much for being with us. Your hand, you can put it down now. You can lower your hand.
It looks like we're having a switching of the rooms, you guys.
Is it time?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
I'm in the third
Thanks,
session now.
Helen.
Helen, pause.
So hold on. I'm in the third session now.
Yes, you have entered Helen's session.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And,
Welcome.
So you are now, let's see, this is going to be room 2.
Yes,
We're in room 2, is that right?
yes.
Yeah.
You guys can hear me, okay? You are in a Jainism session, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on just a minute. Let me see what happened to my video.
You seem to be sideways. Yeah,
I know.
Mahendra, you have 2 different
Yeah,
videos open.
I got 2 screens. I got 2
Okay.
devices. One of them I just using my desktop for slides. Okay. Let's start. My name is Mahendra Shah, and I belong to Jain faith. I don't know whether you have heard about Jain religion or not, but you will get a little bit of an overview and introduction into Jainism or Jain faith. Couple of things that I would mention, but the one important things that I would like you to live with is that we believe in saying that living is killing, but the best living is least killing, least non-violence. And I'll briefly describe when I go into the Jain overview. All right, now I'm not sharing it right now, so let me go to the share. And I am going to start sharing it. I'm going to go to the first slide. Just give me 1 minute because I was at the last slide in the previous session. Okay, I already gone through that. Now, what you're going to learn is some of the topics that you're going to learn about is a little bit of history about Jainism, the 4 gatis that Jainism believes in. Then we're going to talk about 5 vows. Then we're going to talk briefly about the karma theory. And then I'll show you the picture of the Jain mandir or temple that we have it here in Phoenix. Couple of major festivals of Jainism, Jain religion is Mahavir Jayanti, which is the 24th Tirthankara of Jainism. We have Paryushan, where you're going to be doing penances and trying to get rid of all your karmas, removal of karmas. And Diwali is a celebration of Bhagwan Mahavir's Nirvan Day. So those are the 3 main festivals that we celebrate here in Phoenix. Everywhere, actually, all Jains celebrate that. Now, what does Jain mean? Jain is nothing but, it came from the word Jina. Jina means conqueror. Conqueror of what? Conqueror of inner enemies. Inner enemies like anger, pride, deceit, greed. Those are the 4 kasais that are inner to us. And whenever we try to attach to something, we have likes and dislikes, desires. I like this, I don't like this. And when you have likes and dislikes, you will try to act or behave in a way that you're going to be good to someone, you're going to be bad to someone. If you dislike somebody, you're not going to be really nice to them, kind of thing. So those are the things that attach or attract karmas, and that karma get attached to your soul. Now, there are 2 types of jinas. The one is called Kevli, another one is called Tirthankara. Now, Kevli is the one that they themselves want to achieve their own salvations. Tirthankaras are the most important to all us in the sense that the mundane soul. Why? Because they are the ones that give us a preaching. They give us a sermon. They tell us what the path is for the liberations. And when the Tirthankaras are giving the sermons, the Upadhyayas, Acharya, these are all teachers. These are all principal teachers of the education. In education terms, they are the teachers. They grasp the things from Tirthankaras and then write the scriptures. So there are so many scriptures that have been written by these teachers, Upadhyayas, and all have written scriptures. Now, last Tirthankara of this time cycle is called Mahavir Swami, Mahavir Bhagwan. He lived in India from 599 to 527 BC, before Christ. So right now it is going on. If you look at after the death of Mahavir Swami, it is 2,570 years have passed since the death of Mahavir Bhagwan. Jainism background. Approximately about 6 million Jains in the world, out of which there are about 200,000 Jains are in the United States, out of which we are scattered, out of which the Phoenix has got approximately about 150 to 200 families. So we'd say about 500 to 600 Jains are in Phoenix. Now, it's a distinct religion, okay? It is not actually derived from, or it's not an offshoot of Buddhism, Jainism, or any other religion. It's a religion by itself, and it is actually a way of life. It is a philosophy. So I'm born in a Jain family. That's why I'm called Jain. But if I don't follow the vows and I don't follow the certain rituals in the Jainism, I'm not actually a Jain. I'm not following the Jain. But somebody else not born in the Jain, following that, they are Jain, more Jain than me, even though I'm born in a Jain family. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it's the path that are laid out by Jina, and if you follow that, you are called Jain. Now, there are two main sects in Jainism. One is called Shwetambar, and the other one is called Digambar. Shwetambar is the one where munis and all monk would wear white clothes. Digambar is the one which wear no clothes. In other words, basically they do not have any clothes. They are naked. And the all four directions are their clothes. So somebody will ask me, what is your main, like Christians have Bible, Muslims have Quran. Same way we will say Jain has something called Tattvarth Sutra. That is our main scripture that we follow through. Now, concept of Jain, and the important concept here is that we do believe in reincarnation, but we do not believe that the God is a creator, okay? Universe has been there and it existed forever. The human life, the animal life, the plant life, all the life has been there and it's been there forever. What happens is the karma decides whether which life you're going to get into, and we'll go into a little bit later. Now, Jain religion, as I said, it's been in existence forever, right? And all souls, all living beings have the same soul capable of becoming God, capable of becoming Jina. So somebody will say that, hey, you can't be a God. That is not true in Jainism. You have a soul which is capable of, and you have that kind of what you call built-in strength that you could, if you follow through the path shown by the Jinas, you could become a God, and people would pray to you. So each soul is capable of becoming a God through their own efforts, not anybody else. The God is not going to, right now, who have become God will not say that, oh, I like you and I'm going to make you God. No, that's not going to happen. You have to follow your own effort to become a God. Now, since the Jain has been existent, it has been divided into a time cycle. The time cycle continuously runs, and right now we are in the descending time cycle, and we are in the fifth era. Each half cycle of a circle is divided into 6 unequal parts. But that itself is a big subject, but because we said it has been there forever, I just wanted to briefly mention about the time cycle. Now, the key belief of Jainism is nonviolence, and I will go into nonviolence a little bit more, karma theory and a liberation of soul. Now, what is the key belief? Is called nonviolence, or we call it Ahinsa. Now, how is Hinsa being done? Hinsa being done by 9 different ways. What are the 3 different ways? Is mentally, verbally, and physically. What are the 3 other ways? You doing it, telling someone to do it, or encourage someone to do it for you. So this 3 and 3 becomes 9 different ways that you can do Hinsa. For example, if I think bad about Betty, right, mentally, Betty even doesn't know that I'm thinking bad about her. I am doing Hinsa. I am doing violence, and I am getting bad karmas. Even though Betty doesn't know about it, right? But I am the one who did it, so I'm the one who's going to get it. Jain religion basically puts an importance on you, self. Don't blame anybody else. It is all the fault is within you. So if somebody slaps you, you can say that, why did he slap you? No, you must have done something, so the person has slapped you. So if you leave it to you, you have a sort of, kind of, you will become a calm acceptance and things like that. So again, going back to 9 different ways, you do it mentally, you do it verbally, and everybody knows verbally, if I say bad thing about you, physically, if I punch you or hurt you. Now, that is by doing myself. Or I tell somebody else, because I'm not capable of hurting someone else, I'm not that strong, and somebody else is strong, I would tell somebody, hey, go and beat that guy up. That is also, I am getting wild, I'm doing violence, okay? I'm getting Ahinsa, and I'm getting karmas. The third thing would be just making other person so mind wash or brainwash that he will do your job. Maybe it will take a time, but it will do your job later on. So you are encouraging them to do it. It may take a time, but he will do. So those three different ways, mentally, verbally, and all, is all 9 different ways you can do Hinsa. And Jain really goes into very deep into this, even thinking mentally. So that is the concept that I just want you to know. So mentally, we would not also think bad about somebody. Okay, karma theory. Karma theory is, everybody knows what you sow is what you're gonna reap. What you do is what you're gonna get the fruit of. Like if you do a good karma, such as, like I'm doing, helping to somebody, giving medicine, somebody giving food, somebody doesn't have clothes, I give them clothes. Things like that is a good karmas, because you are helping someone to do that. Bad karma is hitting someone, all this kind of, everybody knows the bad karmas too. So whatever you do is basically good or bad, you're gonna get the karmas attached to you. What is the ultimate aim of in Jainism? Ultimate aim is to get rid of all the karmas, whether it's a good or bad, because good karma is gonna give you a life in heaven, because you did a good karma. So good karma can give you a next birth. We believe in reincarnation, as I said. So next birth will be either in heaven or it is being a human. So those are the good karmas. If you did a bad karmas, and if you have a lot of accumulation of bad karmas, then you can get a birth in hell or animal life, subhuman life. So you don't want that. So you would do good karmas to go to heaven. But the Jains do not stop but by just going to heaven. They say that you want to get rid of even that life, heavenly life, and you want to go to the moksha, which is a nirvana, getting rid of all the karmas. Okay, now how do you achieve the liberation or moksha, the term that I've been using? It's by your pure thoughts, pure speech, and pure actions. So by 3 different ways that you are getting the karmas attached to you. If you have a pure thoughts and pure speech and pure actions, well, how do you achieve that? By just knowing that I am the knower of the things that are happening. I don't get attached to the things. If something is happening, I don't get attached to that and say, oh, this is wrong, this is mine, this is dirty, this is not good. All that kind of things is attachment, and that attachment attracts karma. So if you don't get attached, and if you start thinking that, okay, I'm just a knower of this, it happened, fine, let's pass on, let's go next. So whenever your karma comes into the fruition from the past life, that will come in existence and will go away. If you stay calm, quiet, with pure thoughts, pure speech, and pure actions, those karmas will disappear. No new karmas will come. So slowly and steadily, you will get rid of the karmas that are there accumulated in your previous life. Pretty soon, if you do that all throughout, you will come across with a 0 karma, no karmas, and that is a Godhood. That is pure soul, and that is a liberation. let's go to the 5 vows. As I mentioned that we, householders believe in non-violence, truth, non-stealing, chastity, and non-possessiveness. Again, the last principle, which is non-possessiveness, is important because every time you have possessed something, like you would say, go ahead and say that, oh, this is my car, this is my house, this is my clothes, right? The mind is attachment, and that attachment is the one that is, we want to probably get rid of it. Okay, and that is where we said nothing, those are all transient things, and they are actually not yours to be saying that it is mine, you know? Okay, let me just take a little break and see. Okay, phone is this. So basic importance in Jain religion is that the lesser possession is better it is, because then you don't have too much of saying it is mine and you have a liking or disliking and things like that towards that possession. 4 different passions that I mentioned earlier also is called anger, pride, deceit, and greed. Those are the 4 ways that you will get your karmas come and attach to you. If you get angry, you know that you're going to get the bad karmas attached. All of those things give you kind of bad karmas that get attached to it. Even having a pride of something, it's bad. Your past karma were such that you are so blessed with all the money, good life, good say body, healthy body. All those things are because of your past. Don't be so proud of it. So that's where all these passions are kind of, you have to be careful of. Basically 6 daily things that we householders, mundane souls like us, have to follow through. Worship Tirthankaras, we study the scriptures, we practice the austerity. Meditation is the key things, because when you do the meditation, you are basically trying to go within you and not thinking about external things. So that's why the attachment will be reduced, and that is achieved by meditations. So those are the things that we all householder practice in our daily life. This is the this is the picture of a Jain temple that exists in Phoenix. It is near 23rd Avenue and south of Southern. If you have not visited, please do come and visit. We do have Sunday Patsala and Sunday sermons and preaching and rituals and all those things. Ceremonial goes on Sunday from 8:30 or 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Right now, because of COVID, it is closed. But if you do open up, please do come and visit us, call us. We will make sure that you will have a chance to see and visit the temple. This is another view of the temple. This is the statue of God. It is the Mahavir Swami, the one that I mentioned. And the 2 people that you see is myself and my wife. There are other pictures in India, the temple in India. This is normally you would see the temple in India will have a good carving and things like that. Now, some of the references that I mentioned can be, you can always search on a Google and look for Jain. Jaina.org is a site that you can look for. Jain e-library is another site. jcnc.org is another site. I'm pretty much done. If anybody has any question, I can entertain some questions.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, Lucia, go ahead.
Okay, were you raised in a home of Jains? And if so, who was the first person in your lineage to be a Jain?
Last part I didn't understand. Who is the first person?
Yeah. How far back in your lineage does the Jain religion go, or are you the first?
Oh, no. I have my 19 genealogy, father, grandfather, father, 19 generations. All of them were Jains.
Wow.
So I have actually, I have a one, my, tree, what do you call it, genealogy. Each one of the names of 19th generation. And maybe I should have taken a picture of that. It's in my other bedroom. So we have a one association which keeps track of it. Like my son is a Jain. His son is currently following the Jainism. So we'll go to the 21st, 19th and 20th and 21st generations that are following Jain.
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
So that, just one more question. So there is a vow of chastity, but that means sex is practiced within marriage, within the family, right?
Yes, yes. That's why once you normally would not see separation that much. We marry once and we stick together normally. It is happening now, but in our past life.
Thank you. That's beautiful.